Hi there and welcome to the video version of this week's Wilson Waffling. And to start off with, I would like to draw your attention to these two items up here. Yes, here's my first Top 100 UK Educational Blog 2014 from UK EdChat, hooray! And also here my blog is now ranked 533rd or 533. So, and these are, I think there's 650 of them. So it started off at 585, so I'm on my way down, or up, as the case may be. So welcome to this week's Wilson Waffling, and today we're going to be talking about, can images record 1,000 words? Okay, so here's a good picture, 1,000 words, so to speak. So, first things first, when I was teaching, I used to work at a school that had a dyslexic centre sort of like integrated into the actual school. And one of the things that used to happen in the afternoons is that the children from the centre used to come into the classroom for topic work like history, geography, science, and things like that. And as I was planning and working with these children, so I suddenly became aware that my teaching was very much based on written recording. And of course, these children and some of the children in my class as well had a lot of difficulty doing this. So what I thought I would do is try to start investigating different ways of recording. And one of the things that I came up with that I really liked was the idea of using images of diagrams in some form to sort of like help and support them. So first things, what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to go through some various aspects of how I use them, and you can go to the original blog to see word for word what I'm talking about, or you can listen in here and I'll cover the same sort of information but not word for word, so to speak. So first things first, spider diagrams. Now, anybody who's in my sessions at university knows that I love spider diagrams. That big sheet of A3 paper on the desk, big chunky pens, put the idea in the middle and just span out, you know, what information have you got? Now, in schools, I used to use a similar sort of like format, and the idea was that I would either put the image or the picture or the diagram in the middle, and the children would annotate it round to demonstrate their understanding. Now, initially you might think this is only for like a diagram in science, but really and truly, there was lots of different applications for this. I often used to give the children a picture, an image of either a setting or a character, and the children would annotate it with words and phrases about how they would describe that character or setting. And this was really important because these key words were sort of like their vocabulary book ready for their writing. I also used to do things like real life shapes and take images of it and sort of like present the children. And I talked about this in one of my previous blogs about shape challenges in sodas. And the idea here is that the children would annotate the properties of those 2D representation or 3D shapes. And again, this opportunity for this key vocabulary to actually come in and to be used to annotate it. Of course, there's lots of opportunities for technology here, and although these were not around when I first sort of like started teaching, applications such as Notability and Sketch can be used to annotate and add these comments around. These, especially in writing, it also allows the children to have a basis of those words that they need to check on their spellings and things like that. So the next sort of like area is what I call sequence strips, and originally I used to call these cartoon strips, but I felt that the cartoon strip had too much emphasis on the actual art form, and too much time was actually taken up sort of like drawing intricate pictures, or children would exclaim, "Well, I can't draw," and things like that. So I call them sequence strips now. So the idea of this is that a lot of the teaching and learning that we do follows a set sequence of events. So this might be a sequence of science in a science experiment, or instruction writing in literacy, or even a sequence of problem solving, or to create a piece of artwork or DT. Now the idea was that I would give the children a set of boxes and they would identify the key steps or the key features of the process and decide to draw or represent one in each little box. And actually the process of actually reducing it down to sort of like 3 or 5 steps was an important learning activity as well. Of course, you don't just have to write these. You could take your own images and then put them onto programs such as PowerPoint to sort of like have the flick through. I remember there was a teacher in the Key Stage 1 when I was teaching who used to use stop animate to draw the sequence of a plant growing. Okay, so the idea, you could take images, and these might be still frame images, so it might be demonstrating the different stages of DT, or it might be small video clips, it might be freeze frames where children are stood pointing, and this can link to drama and to sort of like link the drama aspects into it. And I once actually did some with a colleague about how we hear, and we did a sequence of children acting out the parts of the ear and the sound waves for Deaf Awareness Week. Now, DJ recording, and I think in the actual audio podcast for this, I actually say DG recording instead of DJ recording, which is quite embarrassing. But I was halfway through, so I didn't want to re-record it all. No, naughty, I know. But as well as images, we can record with sound. And the idea of this is that rather than just sort of like drawing pictures, the children give a verbal description of what's happening, or they record their words verbally. So these might be used for things like talking tins, or use their sound capture devices and record them to sort of like put onto the PowerPoint slides or things like that. Photo Story by Windows, that's another good one to sort of like record and attach these sound bites. Of course, there's other programs such as Audacity and Audioboo and SoundCloud that you can use as well in a similar way. The interesting thing about this is that because they're actually speaking the instructions or speaking those key words, it becomes a discussion point, and these key vocabulary comes in again, as well as impacting on their speaking and listening skills, of course. Also in mathematics, demonstrating how they actually worked out their mathematical reasoning and problem solving would form a valuable piece of evidence ready for assessment in whatever form it appears in. The other thing that you could do, of course, is that this capturing via sound, or in fact using video and sound, would actually link to the starting point of the activity. So in the sense that what could happen is that you could start off that a crazy scientist has asked the children to do something, and the finished piece of work will be this video or this podcast that the children can actually present or upload to the local virtual learning environment, or to share at parents' evenings on a big screen outside the classroom. So these are just some of the methods I use, and feel free to have a go at them, but I'm sure you've got lots that you can share as well. So as always, get in touch with me in the usual way, and you can sort of like be in for a chance of a I Waffled with Wilson badge. And if you are watching this and you already have an I Waffled with Wilson badge, then it'd be fantastic if you could actually send me a photograph of you proudly wearing that, because I want to set up like a rogues gallery. Well, rogues gallery is probably the wrong word, but a gallery of people who have achieved it. Also, if you're interested, I want to start up again the I Waffled with Wilson weekend. This is when I sort of like get in touch with key people at either university or school and have a chat to them and publish them online with a set series of questions. So if you're interested in getting involved in that, or you want to recommend anybody for me to actually interview, then drop me a line or drop me an email or contact me in the normal way. Remember, you can keep up to date with my waffles in the usual way. So hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, and you like this way of me talking about my waffles, then please make sure you hit subscribe or the like button, and that will increase the amount of subscribers I have, which would be fantastic, which is part of my New Year's resolution. So hope you've enjoyed this. Have fun, and I'll catch you all later.